Hello, folks. This is Matt once again, and welcome to another edition of the IMDB Files. Uh, just something a little bit different. In this installment, someone had asked me to do the year 1998, and so I'm joined with a good friend of mine, Mike, OCP Communications.
What's up?
And we'll get right to it. We're looking at some of the low-rated films of 1998 that's on IMDb, and we'll
I,
go for as long as we
I've
can.
never heard of some. I've heard of some of these, definitely. I've seen some of these, but first off, there's one that starts off here that we don't. It's not even a real movie. I'm not even gonna fucking different
Right.
TR courses in their criticism. What is that? A fucking how-to video? But the first one, I had no idea that Warwick Davis was in a Leprechaun movie that was not a part of the Leprechaun franchise. And here it is.
It's called A Very Unlucky Leprechaun, which gets a 1.7 on IMDb. It's a kids' film, fantasy film that I believe also has, if I read right, Tim Matheson
Matheson.
from A Long Way from all the
E.T.
movies. Tim Matheson?
Wasn't he in that?
Well, I was talking about films like uh, Animal House and
Oh yeah, Animal
things
House
like that.
definitely.
It's
And
a
he
long
wasn't
way
in
from
E.T.
Animal House.
It's probably somebody else. I get confused.
I know see Thomas Howell is.
It's that other guy. That's not Tim Matheson. My bad. It's that. It's Peter Coyote.
No, no, I was talking about films like Animal
Oh
House
yeah,
and
1941. He
he
was
was
in Up
in
the Creek. Fletch.
Magnum
Fletch.
Force. Yeah.
Fletch. That's it. Alan Stanwyck. Long way from Fletch to very unlucky Leprechaun. And Warwick Davis. The picture they have here, he's got buck teeth and just really looks terrible. It's like a horrible
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, it looks like film that deserves a
It
1.7
really
on
does.
IMDb.
I had no idea there was another Leprechaun movie with Warwick Davis that was not related to the Leprechaun franchise. Or he played a Leprechaun.
And then the next one is a film which gets a 2.2 with Richard Grieco
And Dean
and Dean
Stockwell.
Stockwell.
It's called Sinbad, The Battle of the Dark Knights.
Yeah, it gets a 2.2, and Dean Stockwell I like in film. I mean,
Yeah,
TV shows like Quantum Leap, and
exactly.
he can't get a good
I
role.
kept getting him confused with another Stockwell. I always remember
John,
that. John Stockwell. I'm like, Dean Stockwell and Christine is your favorite actor. Of course, Matt would be like, it's John Stockwell, dumbass. Oh, yeah,
I
John
didn't say
Stockwell.
dumb.
I know.
But Richard Grieco, I actually liked him in a film called If Looks Could Kill,
Yeah, that's a
which
fun
never
one.
really got a DVD.
No,
It's
got one
got
of those
DVD-R.
Warner Archive releases.
I think that was a film directed by the guy who did Harry and the
Yeah,
Hendersons.
William Deere. Who
But
also
If Looks Could Kill, I
yeah.
like.
William Deere also directed Angels in the Outfield. Yeah,
Huh.
there's not even a picture on IMDb about this movie, so that probably
Well, it gets
shows
a
you.
2.2, and we're rather talk about If Looks Could Kill.
I
So,
mean, the basic plot, a young boy is taught to use his imagination by his grandfather, who casts him in a great adventure back in time. Using a magic coin, he enters the medieval world of Sinbad, who must rescue a beautiful princess from the clutches of an evil knight. Sounds dull.
it sounds
Lame.
run of the mill.
Want to watch a bad Sinbad movie? I just watched the one with Lou Ferrigno from the 80s. It was like Sinbad of the Seven Seas or something, I think was what it was called.
Now, the next one, which is a film that gets a 2.3,
It's
is
well
probably the only
deserved.
film that stars this guy, Carrot Top, aka Scott Thompson, chairman of the board. Again, gets a 2.3.
The movie is fucking boring.
Yeah, it's his only starring film.
It's a terrible film.
Let's
I
see
saw
who
it a
are.
long time ago. I wish I didn't. It's pretty forgettable, but at the same time, it's still really, really awful.
Now, it says here in the trivia Steve Lim and Kevin Heffernan stated in their podcast that the movie was chosen to be produced over both Broken Lizard film's Super Troopers and a film called Puddle Cruiser. Trimark had promised to develop both movies, but went with the Carrot Tufts film instead.
He went with
The, com-
Carrot Top instead of
the company
Super
went out of
Troopers.
business before they could go on to fund the Broken
Uh,
Lizard projects.
of course. Because you decided to stand in Carrot Top's corner.
And I believe he's a comedian that
Yeah, he's a
dealt with
surfer.
props.
Yeah, he's a surfer and an inventor named Edison. Get it? Who was chosen by his roommates to raise rent with his outrageous and absurd inventions. There's no luck in job interviews until he meets billionaire Armand Macmillan, who likes him, and leaves his company after his death to Edison. And Edison has a lot of success with his inventions, while the company's competitors do all they can to try to destroy him.
And you actually have some people like Jack Warden,
Yeah.
M. Emmett Walsh, Larry
Oh,
Miller.
Emmett Walsh, Taylor Negron, who passed away recently, Glenn Shaddix, who also passed away, Glenn Shaddix from Beetlejuice, who played Otho, is also in Demolition Man. Got Raquel Welch.
And there's actually what I remember the most this time in this movie is something on YouTube where Courtney Thorne Smith was on a talk show and
Yeah.
she was a guest, and then who's starting Dirty Work?
Um, you had Artie Lang. You
No,
also had
the
Norm
lead guy.
Macdonald. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald was also a guest, and Edgar Nishore was giving her shit about it. It's like uh, talking a lot of crap.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact words, but it was. I think he was on. They were on
Yeah, it was
Conan or
pretty
something
funny
like
too.
that.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And uh, this is a film I never saw,
Saw
never
it
cared
once
to
a long
see.
time ago. I never want to really ever see it again. It was that good. I don't like Carrot Top anyway. I never thought he was funny. He was like a shittier Young Einstein. I mean, shittier, what's his name? Yahoo Serious. Because he was in Young Einstein. Shittier Yahoo Serious. That's pretty shitty anyway. Yahoo Serious is pretty shitty. The next one I actually saw. This is one of the worst kids' movies I've ever seen. Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. It gets a 2.7, and it deserves it. Another Hulk Hogan film. Have you noticed the pattern?
One quick thing about the chairman of the board that I just remembered is that one of the things he said, I bet the board is spelled Bored.
That's true. It is.
That was
It's a
one that was
it's
one
a
joke I remember on those.
it's a boring movie.
Just for folks, go to YouTube, type in like Norm Macdonald, Conan, Courtney Thorne Smith, you'll find it. But Three Ninjas, High Noon, Metal Mountain, yeah, it's a 2.7. Uh, you saw the movie. You reviewed all the Three
Yeah,
Ninjas.
it's the worst of the franchise without a doubt. Jim Varney's embarrassing himself here as a bad guy named Lofar Zog. Lonnie Anderson plays Medusa. She cracks a whip. You don't have any of the same kids actors from the first three films. None of them returned as Rocky, Colt, or Tum Tum. That shows you how shitty this movie is. None of the kids were like they probably saw a screenplay, saw that Hulk Hogan was in it, and they were like, "Fuck this. We got better things to do. We got college, or I got to go to high school and got classes to take." The only one that returned was Victor Wong
In his last film.
in his last film, which was really too bad that this was his last film.
Now the trivia says Max Elliott Slade was supposed to play Colt, but he went back to school
See,
instead.
exactly. I was right. He went back to school instead because he was like, fuck this. It's an absolutely horrible film. It's not funny. The action sucks and
And
the kids suck. It's just an awful movie.
so it's definitely no Suburban Commando.
No. That's
Which
a
I like Suburban
classic.
Commando.
I like Suburban Commando. I can watch that. Especially compared to this shit. Hulk
So you
Hogan.
say it deserves a
Oh,
2.7.
definitely. And he's shaved. This is Hulk Hogan with no stash too. It's really weird. Hulk Hogan with no mustache. Strange. But yeah, the
Huh.
movie's complete fucking garbage. It's terrible.
Uh, I got nothing, I got nothing to say about the movie. I mean, I didn't see it. Never cared to see
Don't
it.
don't see.
Anyway, the next one, skip a couple because don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Only one that the Exotic Time Machine. What more can I say about a 2.7 movie called The Exotic Time Machine?
Is it a
They go
softcore
back and they
porn?
fuck.
Probably a porno. Yeah.
Or Barney's Great Adventure, which even 2.8 deserves it, I'm sure. No, I didn't see Barney. I don't care, but his movie got a
I think one of my
2.8.
cousins or something, he was a kid, he watched that. I was driving to Arizona or some shit to visit my grandparents and like had that on and watched this stupid Elmo movie too. God, it was awful. I was like, I don't want to watch Barney's fucking movie. Just fuck.
And then,
The plot of Barney's movie is the mom and dad dumps their son Cody, their daughter Abby, and her best friend Marcella and a baby on the farm with Grandpa and Grandma for a couple days. Meanwhile, a purple talking dinosaur named Barney shows up, but then Barney and his pals, and Cody included, take a trip to find that a magical egg, which is due to hatch any moment, is missing, and this is no ordinary egg which people eat for breakfast. It's a dream maker, which has a creature inside of it, and it's up to Barney and the others to get the egg back in the farm before sunset.
and they're pedophiles. That's what the movie's about, is a bunch of pedophiles.
Louis Gossett
Now,
Jr. What the? Oh, I know what
now,
this. I think I know. Is this the one?
now this is
Yeah, this is. This is it. This is. Oh, fuck this movie.
a director,
Oh man.
films you recognize.
Yeah, Jeffrey Obro. I forgot he directed this shitty movie.
The Kindred,
Oh,
the Power, and the Door in the Drip Blood.
I forgot
Also
he
did a
directed
film
this
called
shit.
Legend of the Mummy, which gets a
Which is
2.8.
also known when it came out at home video as Bram Stoker's The Mummy. It
Bram
stars Louis
Stoker's.
Gossett Jr., who's in one of his worst performances, and you have Al from Home Improvement in the film, Richard Karn.
It says even the synopsis doesn't care about the movie because it says a pretty sorry looking mummy. Was obviously someone wrote this, but still, that's the main
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, with seven fingers.
Could be the cause of several weird murders, and the daughter of an Egyptologist sets out to solve the mystery. And again, gets a 2.8.
It deserves it. I have this film on VHS. Yeah, regrettably, it was something that was
Is it
given to
cheap?
me. It was
Oh,
given to me by my aunt from with her collection, so I didn't really pay anything for it. And one of these days, I'll probably do a
like
rant
a
on it. But
like a mummy
yeah, God,
marathon.
that is. I remember that being really shitty. I remember being like, Louis Gossett Jr., what the fuck, man? And I'm like, Al, what are you doing in this movie?
So I guess the one quick thing, there was actually a Jack and Jill before
Yeah,
Adam Sandler's film Jack and Jill in 1998, which gets a 2.8. Jack discards Jill right before their impending marriage, but Jack and Jill decide to continue with an open relationship. It sounds so thrilling. So, we're
then we
starring
have,
nobody that no.
yeah, nobody that I know either. Then we have the sequel to Femme Alien 2, which I vaguely remember. Femme Alien, it was just another one of those softcore porn fucking movies like The Exotic Time Machine. And the basic plot, I guess, is two aliens come to Earth seeking their missing comrade, Kara,
And
and
fuck.
find she has taken an intense interest in human sexual behavior. She wants to
And
fuck.
and they fuck.
As they follow along her path, a nerdish UFO type and his fiancée track them, while a mysterious man in black tracks them to fuck. You know, because the men in black are probably
To
gonna
fuck.
fuck. Yeah, they're gonna fuck them probably. It's just a whole bunch of fucking.
Well, the way of the age today is useless to watch movies like this, so there's no point. Even back in the day, I was like, people who want sex, they don't care about plot. If you want a plot, there are better alien movies. So you
Exactly.
lose either way.
You're fucked. You're fucked either way.
More than the people in the movie. And that gets a 2.8 as well.
Yeah.
And the next one, I did
Oh
see it.
god.
This is
Oh
a
fuck.
horrendous movie called Watchers Reborn, aka Watchers 4 from 1998, which gets a 2.8, which is still too high.
Yes.
And pretty much each of the Watchers film are kind of the same plot. Person and a dog who's super smart chased by a creature.
Yeah.
And they changed the creature design in every single movie. I like the first three.
I can watch them.
I love the first one with Corey Haim. I grew up with it. Second one with Mark Singer is my favorite. Third one I liked okay. I like Wings Hauser. It's more of a Predator ripoff
Yeah, it's kind of
because it takes place in the jungle. Yeah, time waster.
Definitely compared to this shit, this is just fucking pure shit.
And considering it has Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker,
cast.
Lisa Wilcox, Alice from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. You got Stephen Mott.
From the Graveyard Shift.
Show's over.
Well, that's true. This movie.
And it's directed by John Carl Buechler, who did Friday the 13th Part 7, which is a good movie.
And he also, I think he directed Guyver, didn't he? Didn't he direct that movie too, the first one? I think he directed that.
Not that I
With
remember.
Mark Hamill.
I don't think so. I think that was Stream Mad George.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Steve Wayne. I knew he did Troll.
Oh, he did Troll. That's it. Troll.
Ghoulies
3. But Kane Hodder is in this briefly as a clerk for some reason. Just Kane Hodder, the clerk.
I remember being very boring. Mark Hamill was really wasted. A moment where something about someone like drops oranges and someone has to follow someone behind trail of oranges.
Yeah.
Or apples, whatever.
Oranges or apples.
I like the creature at the end. They try to do a sympathetic angle at the last minute and it doesn't work.
So it was like Star Crystal again. In that respect.
I guess, yeah.
Because it was like, oh come on, feel bad for this monster, it didn't, but it killed like a bunch of people already. Like I'm not sympathizing with this fucking thing. Blow its ass away. But Star Crystal was probably much worse in that respect.
Yeah, but I mean they're both really bad. I mean not much
bad.
creature
Lisa Wilcox,
action.
and Stephen Mock, and Mark Hamill, and
they were pretty much wasted,
Yeah.
and even their acting was not the best. But it's probably
well, you can't blame them. They have nothing to work with, and they probably are just like, how much am I getting paid? It's not enough anyway, but I need the money. Just okay.
Yeah.
When is it over? When am I done?
Yeah, I just remember the film being very horrendous. Just bad movie.
Same.
Next film is a film I've never seen, never even heard of, called The Godson, which gets a 2.9, which has Rodney Dangerfield and Dom DeLuise.
Yeah. I've never seen this film either, but it's probably a crappy Godfather parody.
Also has Kevin McDonald and Lou Ferrigno.
Kevin McDonald, is that the guy from Kids in the Hall? Is that who that is?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno is Bugsy. After the death of his older brother Giuseppe the Guppy Calzone, played by Kevin McDonald, he becomes head of the Calzone mob family. So Kevin McDonald becomes the head of a mob family. His aging father, Dom DeLuise, probably just does his parody of Marlon Brando that he did in tons of other movies before, knows that his son is not cut out for the job, and he sends him to Mafia University, where the head of a rival mafia family, played by Rodney Dangerfield, sees this as an opportunity to strike and bring the Calzone family to its knees. Surrounded by danger, double-crossing, and pasta, of course, the Godson proves that some wise guys just aren't so smart. If I want to watch a mafia comedy, I watch that movie Mafia. That's not even the best either, but it's probably better than this.
No, Jane Austen's Mafia, was that the same year as this? Because maybe that's what they were... Hey, that movie's being made, so let's do another Mafia comedy.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm talking about, right? The Jane Austen's Mafia, I think.
Yeah, when I'm like, is that?
Yeah, 1998, yeah.
Wow, what a coincidence. And that film didn't do anything either.
No, but I thought it was funnier than Probably
I
funnier than The
I have
Godson. I've never seen
I
that
don't
before.
remember it, so. But yeah, The Godson 2.9, probably for good
And
reason.
we got another one that's got a 2.9, another one directed by Sybil Richards, and another fucking softcore porn sci-fi flick.
Virtual
Virtual
Encounters
Encounters
2.
2.
Virtual Encounters 2 gets a 2.9. Two college guys sell virtual sex out of their dorm room.
So it's like Demolition Man, that one scene with Sandra Bullock and Stallone. No, this is not right. Whatever happened to doing it the old-fashioned way? Oh, fluid transfer?
Surprised they don't sell real sex.
Yeah.
Like hookers. That's the thing. Why would you buy virtual sex if you just get hookers? I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't go that route,
I
but
don't
hey,
care if it
why
is in the
not?
future. Just get a hooker. A hooker from the future.
And it stars Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. That's the actor's name, Ethan Hunt, which is Tom Cruise's character in Mission Impossible. So I guess he did this before MI.
Exactly.
Another film which I've never heard of, 2.9, gets Termination Man with Steve Railsback.
Termination Man.
And Steve Railsback I don't mind as an
I don't
actor.
either. I remember seeing the trailer for this. It looked pretty shitty. Like low budget. It's a new Concorde release, so it's like a New Horizons low budget cheap jack action flick. It doesn't even have a synopsis. There's no plot on IMDb. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Terminate the threat before it terminates you. Steel Rails back, and on the cover they just totally some really bad Photoshop before Photoshop, and they just smoothed out his entire face. I'm like, make him look like he's Babyface. Rails back.
And director is the same guy who directed the really piss poor Mark Singer film Dead Space.
Oh yeah, that's on DVD for some reason.
I have no idea. Which has nothing to do with the video game Dead Space.
No.
But a film called Beach Movie, which is a 3.0.
Which is also known as Board Heads. That's the title it's known as. I've seen the trailer for it. It just looks stupid. It's just stupid surfer douchebag dumbasses trying to be cash in on the success of Dude, Where's My Car or something. But didn't that come out later? Just trying to be like a bunch of dumbass bros who
don't have hoes.
Yeah, who want some hoes and Bronson Pinchot. He actually is in the film, Bronson Pinchot.
Well, he had no career anymore, to be honest.
Well, what's the story, Matt? What's the story of this one?
If anyone cares, the story to Board Heads or Beach Movie or guy named Link from Encino Man.
Link or Link from
Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
Is torn between the two loves of his life, surfing and his girlfriend Sunny. He's also got to deal with an angry landlady who's threatening to evict him if he doesn't start paying his rent. When three rich but clueless newcomers move into town and immediately start striking out with the dozens of bikini-clad beauties on the local beach, Link sees a possible solution to his cash problems, offer the trio lessons on how to become pickup artists.
So you're gonna get lessons from these morons.
No, he's going to give lessons to them.
He's gonna give lessons, so you're gonna take...
To three guys.
Yeah, there's no one... You're better off on your own. Probably getting advice from these fucking idiots, from these board heads. Probably sounds like a movie I'd rather smack myself in the head with a surfboard 50 goddamn times than ever sit through, so...
Now, there's one here called McKenzies Island, directed by Sam Furstenberg.
What?
Director of American Ninja. Starring Hulk Hogan, Grace
Hulk
Jones,
Hogan again,
and Robert Vaughn.
He's like a cancer or some shit because it's fucking.
And he's teamed up with
movies.
Grace Jones and Robert Vaughn. From the director Sam Furstenberg, folks. I mean, this guy did American Ninja 1 and 2. He did.
And The Big Show. The Big Show's in this too.
Oh, really?
The Paul Wright. The Big Show plays Little Snowflake.
Oh god, yeah. This is when Hulk Hogan was in WCW,
Yeah.
so got him to do that. Film I've never even heard of,
I've never
not even
heard
a
of it either.
picture, not even a summary. Really, I guess no one else have seen it either. So I guess a 3 out of 10 for some reason.
Well, the
For good
Beach movie
reason, I'm
got
sure.
3. Yeah, for good reason, probably. Another fucking shitty Hulk Hogan movie. I'm really surprised. I really am. Then you have Naked Lies, which is a 1998 film with Shannon Tweed, Effrey's favorite actress. But, and I think I saw this at buybacks, like, and they were selling it for like what, $5 or something. That's too much. Shannon Tweed, Fernando Allende, Stephen Bauer, and another softcore porn action flick, probably with Shannon Tweed. She plays FBI agent Cara Landry, who's sent on an undercover assignment to gather evidence on Damian Medina, Funky Cole Medina, a Mexican casino owner running a counterfeiting operation for the Cali drug cartel. With virtually no backup, Cara's only way to accomplish her mission and stay alive is to lure Medina into a... Sorry, just the last name Medina just makes me think of that Tone Loc song. Into a false sense of security and stay a step ahead of his suspicious underlings. I'll skip that movie.
Yeah, there's just no point in watching. I don't even know if back in 1980 maybe there's a point, but nowadays, no. Just a 3 out of 10 on IMDb,
Vampire Time Travelers.
which also gets a 3. 4 young college women battle vampires and several other supernatural forces as they try to join a strange sorority.
Probably another shitty softcore porno flick, or just a porno flick.
Or just a horror comedy that's not funny.
Then we have a movie called Rough Draft that has Fury Busey and Michael Madsen in it. It's called Diary of a Serial Killer. I have this.
Yeah, that's another title,
I
which
have
gets a
this on
3.
VHS. It's as under the title Diary of a Serial Killer. And the basic plot is a struggling freelance writer, while investigating the transvestite nightlife, stumbles across a serial killer in action. The two then strike up a bizarre partnership to document the killer's motives and handiwork as a possessed detective struggling with his own personal demons tries to solve the crime. So possessed? Is he possessed by a demon? Is that the personal demon he's dealing with? No, that'd be too interesting. That's probably not the case. Let me guess. The killer's played by Arnold Vosloo?
I don't know. I would have thought it was Gary Busey. So
It could be Gary
like
Busey.
all these guys usually play bad guys. Gary Busey, Arnold Vosloo,
No, it's
Michael
definitely still. I
Madsen.
think I think it's Arnold Vosloo. He plays a character named Stefan.
Here's a
That's the killer.
tagline: Sounds of Lambs 7. Now Diary of a Serial Killer.
Yeah, in your fucking dreams. Some
Well,
things
you
are
have it.
better.
So
Some things are better never written. That's never tagline.
well, when you watch it, you'll let us know.
Then we have a movie I've seen, which I'm
Which
not
gets a
gonna
3.
say it's a great film, but I give it higher than a 3 just because of the enjoyment factor of just having Steve Guttenberg in an action movie. It was fun. It's not a great film. I'm not gonna say that, but
It's called
it's
Airborne,
called Airborne. But it was like so bad it's fun type movie.
which you reviewed, right?
I reviewed this film, and even Steve Guttenberg had some fun lines of dialogue to say as well. And I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I said them in the review. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's not the best movie ever, but I wouldn't say it's a 3.0 for me personally. I've seen worse films.
And what for? Just for Gutenberg?
Yeah, I can watch it for Gutenberg.
And for those,
It
yeah,
reuses stock footage. It uses footage from The Rock though, with the 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 what is it? The nerve gas bombs or whatever. The
yeah.
little balls of nerve gas. Reuses stock footage from The Rock.
And the plot, for those wondering, it's Steve Gutenberg heading up a Black Ops team. They're trying to retrieve a canister of daily viral agent, which was stolen
from The Rock.
from the government by an arms dealer. The team retrieved the weapon, but the team is set up.
By
And,
Sean Bean, of course.
yeah, Sean Bean stole it, and then I think Kim Coates is in it, Colin
Yeah.
Feore, and
Some really terrible CGI effects
I
at some
remember
points.
I remember the trailer. Steve Gutenberg, one of his few or only serious action
But I
roles.
just had fun because of Steve Gutenberg.
So
The
you don't think
Goober's
it deserves
good.
a 3?
No, I don't think it's that bad. I would give it like maybe a 4.5 or a 5. I would. It's not a movie I give 5 stars. It's a movie I give 3, just because it was just enjoyable enough.
3 out
Just
of 5
because.
stars. I mean,
Yeah, just because of Steve. It's a time waster for me because of Steve Gutenberg.
and here it's a 3 out of 10. Now, next one is some
Craw!
Craw the Sea Monster, which gets a 3.1. It's a creature feature alien film.
I think I remember the trailer for that.
Planet Patrol agent Madhyar allies with humans to stop the plans of Lord Doom when Craw attacks Earth.
Lord
Sounds like a
Doom
lot of made up stuff.
pulling it out of their ass, just like this next movie. Speaking of
Which
ass, there's this movie from 1998 called Butt Crack, which is a
gets a 3.1.
3.1, and it's from Troma, of course. And the plot is the gun-toting, Bible-thumping preacher man Bob must right the universal karma accidentally set wrong when Brian inadvertently kills his obnoxious butt cleavage roommate Wade.
I don't know what that means, butt cleavage. Like,
Does he have tits in his ass? I don't. It's fucking Troma. I mean, Troma sucks. Anyway,
yeah,
so
I've never been a fan of Troma.
if you are, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, most films I've seen of theirs, even I'm not even a big Toxic Avenger fan, except effects wise.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a big
I never
fan.
got into Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Just thought it was stupid. Didn't really get into the ever Troma films either. So for the most part, I think they suck. I think the only time their films are any good is the films that aren't actually made by them. The films that they just release separately because they couldn't find a distributor, like a movie like Luther the Geek.
I
But
haven't
other than
seen that.
that, pretty much suck. Shitty. The movies are trash.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's just our opinion. Uh, some movie that sounds disgusting called Babyface.
Yeah, it really does.
3.1. A 13-year-old with an over-6 mother starts an affair with her mother's live-in
Oh
boyfriend.
God, just
So, probably a reason why it's a 3.1. Higher than Airborne. A film like that is higher than Steve Gutenberg. The Goot can't win.
The Goot's better than that fucking movie, that's for sure. Air Boss 2, so there was an Air Boss 1. Hey,
Unbeknownst to me,
preemptive strike.
gets a 3.2 starring Frank Zagarino.
Yeah, Frank Zagarino was in the first Air Boss.
I guess.
Well, that's another guy who's throwing up a lot of shitty movies. Frank
I
Zagarino.
guess. I don't know why they would have made a sequel because I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this movie. I never heard of it. I know a lot of movies.
High above the Earth, Top Gun pilot turned astronaut Frank White commands his first space shuttle mission. While in orbit, the science team headed by Dr. Bender runs a critical experiment utilizing the unique properties of microgravity to cultivate a cure for the Ebola virus, the most lethal pathogen known to the human race. Back on Earth, an accident on the way to debrief leaves the entire science team dead. Only Dr. Bender has survived. Suspecting foul play, Frank White infiltrates the hospital where Dr. Bender is quarantined and learns from the critically injured scientists that the accident was arranged. The Ebola in the experimental container has been stolen. Frank takes this information to James Kelly, the deputy director of intelligence for the CIA. And immediately after, Frank is nearly killed on a training flight when his unarmed FA-18 is attacked by a mysterious F-15. Frank then finds his way to former SEAL team leader Bone Khan. The two uncover a plot to turn the Ebola virus into a chemical weapon of unimaginable destructive power. Millions of innocent lives hang in the balance as two men and their team of Navy SEALs become locked in a deadly race against time to stop the ultimate terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those synopsises that make the film sound more interesting and not really more interesting, but say make it sound more exciting than it really is.
More bigger
Yeah, bigger
than it
and like
really is.
it's like it's not that big of a deal. It's fucking Air Boss 2. Ease up on the drama. Bone Con and Dr. Bender.
Well, I don't think anyone has seen this movie for good reason. The next one is a film I've heard of,
I've
which is
heard
a
of it too.
3.1, Ringmaster, because it's Jerry Springer pretty much playing himself,
Yeah.
because he hosts a raunchy LA show. I remember Michael Dudikoff was in
He
this.
was in that movie? Really?
Yeah, as a trailer park trash
I didn't
guest.
know he was in that as a trailer trash guest.
Michael Dudikoff, yes.
I
Strictly a
was
trailer
curious about
trash.
that just to see Michael Dudikoff's trailer trash guest. I've never.
Apparently, Michael Jai White's in this as
Michael
well,
J. White.
because he's in the credits on IMDb.
No, so those two can't be in an action movie. They're gonna be in fucking Jerry Springer's movie Ringmaster. That's
And really enough, a guy named William McNamara, who is
great.
in Copycat and
Mm-hmm.
other films.
Surviving the game.
And it's a film I never care to see, but I guess I'll wait for Mike's review if he ever sees it from Michael Dudikoff. But, I mean, it is a 3.1. I guess, you know, who gives a shit about the Jerry Springer show? Why do you want to see a movie? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Next
people could
one,
watch
yeah.
that.
If you would just watch a Jerry Springer show on YouTube or whatever, or listen to the Weird Al song. Next one's a remake called Carnival Souls. It's a remake of
Which,
Carnival Souls. I think it's like a '60s movie. I think. I I
which
I,
it's a 3.2, and it
I
was a
saw
film
this.
that
This is
Wes
pretty
Craven
shitty.
presents.
It's a pretty shitty TV movie remake of a pretty stylish, creepy movie. But the original Carnival Souls, I'm not the super biggest fan of. I mean, it has some good visuals in it. Creepy, but I kind of was kind of boring. But I haven't seen it in the longest time. But that
Oh,
was kind
I
of a
hated
boring
it.
film.
I
So
hated the original. It's a 62 movie.
yeah, I remember it having some interesting visuals, but I remember not caring for the film in the long run. At the end of the day, that's just me. But I know people were saying, "Oh, it's one of those groundbreaking horror films." I'm like, whatever.
I thought it was like horrendously acted, incredibly boring.
I thought
Uh,
this sucked pretty much too. It was too bad because Johnny Smith was in it.
oh, this remake? Oh,
Yeah, and just it was the same sort of dull movie, dull plot, just in color.
Shawnee Smith, a girl named Bobby Phillips. Huh. Never seen the remake. Didn't like the original, so I don't care to see the remake. And it's just a 3.2, maybe for good reason. From what Mike describes, seems like a good reason.
Yeah,
And that's Carnival of Souls. The next one is a family film about an African called Malaika, or Malaika. An
my
African elephant
Mickey
wanders into the
Mouse
life.
supplies.
An African elephant wanders into the lives of four wide-eyed children, and all pandemonium breaks loose. Oh
I'll
well,
just watch Larger Than Life with Bill Murray.
which not many people like, but I like the movie.
I don't mind the movie either. Did that come out in '98 too?
Um,
No, it came out in '96.
well, maybe they were inspired, even though it didn't
There's
do well.
this is like one of those artisan home entertainment kids movies. It was also known as Tons of Trouble. Well, it looks like it's tons of shit, really. So
Pretty much.
the first 9.5 weeks, yeah, the prequel to 9.5 weeks. Did you ever think there was actually three 9.5 weeks movies? The movie that had Kim Basinger and Mickey Rourke, kind of just basically what it was is just watch Kim Basinger get naked and fuck the movie. That's what 9.5 weeks was. We had a sequel that Mickey Rourke returned to fuck some other hot chick, and then now we have a prequel called The First 9.5 Weeks, starring Paul Mercurio and Clara Beller and Malcolm McDowell and Frederick Forrest.
And it gets a 3.3.
An
And
investment banker, Paul Mercurio, travels to Louisiana to snag the account of an eccentric millionaire, played by Malcolm McDowell, but gets involved with his lusty wife, Mardi Gras. Is her name really Mardi Gras? Is this
sure,
seriously her
it's
name?
called The First 9.5 Weeks.
And possibly a satanic cult, okay? The events in and around New Orleans change it forever and give a new
So we have
slant on the
Satanists here
American
too.
dream.
So Satanists made Mickey Rourke
It's a
do.
it's the prequel. Oh my god, it connects Angel Heart with fucking 9.5 weeks.
So after
There's
nine
a
and a half
connection.
weeks and another 9.5 weeks, he became a detective and lost his memory. The memory he lost was of the guy in 9.5 weeks. That's his whole life. And he went to hell because of all the kinky sex he had in 9.5 weeks. So this film explains it all. Satanists, satanic cultists in New Orleans,
Exactly.
like Angel Heart.
Oh shit.
So it's a prequel to two movies. Anyway, so there you go. That's the first. Uh, and really enough, the next movie has Malcolm McDowell in it too, which also gets a 3.3. Some film called Fatal Pursuit. A rugged ex-cop PI and a beautiful British female insurance investigator search for diamonds that were stolen in a brutal robbery. Ooh,
Robert Zadar is
wow.
also in this, and Joe Estevez,
The
and
non-popular Estevez.
Charles Napier.
Well, that's too bad.
Do you have Shannon Wherry, who I thought was hot, but she couldn't act? She's like one of those that hot, can't act.
Uh,
And you have this guy named Michael Ensign, who I guess is in Ghostbusters. What did he play? Who did he play in Ghostbusters?
Michael Enzyme.
He played the hotel manager. It's the hotel manager guy from Ghostbusters. He said, "You can't bring this in there. You can't put that. Oh, we'll just put it back in there." No, 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 no. I'll pay. It's that guy.
Without my money, I won't pay it.
Well, we can put it right back in there. But it's that guy, the hotel manager from Ghostbusters is in Fatal Pursuit.
Well, you can see for that. Ghostbusters completist.
Next one, yeah, what? Go ahead.
No, I would say the next one
Fred
that's
Olin Ray.
familiar. I was going to say the other one you've seen, The
Oh,
Ultimate Weapon.
oh yeah, I've seen that one, but there's this one called Little Miss Magic, which is a 3.3. It's directed by Fred Olin Ray, and well, it's cheap, of course. It's Fred Olin Ray.
Yeah, usually.
It looks pretty cheap. Like the cover art itself just looks lame as fuck, and
Yeah,
the title's just stupid, and it just looks awful.
it does.
It's not very magical. Yeah, the next one after that is The Ultimate Weapon, which I've seen, directed by John Cassar, starring Hulk Hogan. Another shitty movie with Hulk Hogan. I did a
I thought you
review of
didn't mind it.
this. I thought it was like a review size rant. I don't remember. It's like a film. I reviewed that like after my car accident too, I think, or
Yeah,
whatever. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
if I watched that again, I'd be like, fuck this. Just fucking
And
forgettable.
why is that?
Because I don't remember shit about this movie at the moment. All I remember was kind of how sort of lame shit, like Hulk Hogan doesn't really get to do as much, and There's some moments where he has some martial arts. It's kind of okay, but I remember the climax being pretty shitty. It was just a cheap movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it just
So
doesn't
probably like
really.
maybe decent at best.
Yeah, maybe at best, but nothing to write home about.
That's what I remember
I'd
about.
say it's better than fucking Santa with muscles or fucking what's the other one? Three Ninjas Hiding in a Mega Mountain, but that's not saying much. Well, it's not as shitty as those movies. It's still pretty bad.
Well, I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe if I do a Hulk Hogan marathon.
Why would you want to do that to yourself?
Maybe if I ever review Suburban Commando,
Yeah,
and then it's like, okay, I'll review a bad movie, then
yeah,
like Ultimate Weapon or something.
Mr.
I mean,
Manny, that kind of
or
stuff.
the one they did with Carl Weathers.
I didn't mind those movies, the TV movies with the Shadow Warriors. I mind those. Carl
Oh,
Weathers and
okay.
Shannon Tweed.
But this one, when mercenary Hardball Cutter discovers that the team he is working with is actually a group of IRA gun runners, he decides to put a stop to their plans. Furious with Cutter, the gun runners target him, his partner, and his family. With Hulk Hogan, Carl Marat, and Cynthia Preston gets a 3.3. And yeah, as you can tell so far, any Hulk Hogan film, pretty much, most people would assume, not just assume, but see that it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's really, really low ratings. 3.3. I
Next is
don't
a
need to
film
see it
called
anytime soon.
yeah. Next is a film called Don't. There's no rush. This is a film called Aurora. Never heard of this movie, and it's directed by Christopher Kulikowski. Stars a bunch of nobodies, and in the 22nd century, 7 explorers set out on a mission to Earth's nearest sister planet, Aurora. Their mission is to survey and explore for future colonization. When their ship suddenly malfunctions, the crew is forced to crash land on the planet's surface, where crippling heat, poisonous water, and fierce storms threaten their lives at every turn. With a handful of supplies and little hope of rescue, their only option is a grueling 400-mile trek to their ship's lost supply bunkers. To survive, the men must push their endurance limit to the men will have to push their endurance to the limit and entrust their lives to a leader who will risk everything to succeed, no matter what the consequences. Again, we gotta make the synopsis sound like it's the most serious, dire fucking thing ever. My
Now
God,
this
this
is a
is
thing. Then this is a thing that I can go into. Not in this movie, but it gets a 3.4. But these movies that seem like really shit, and you look at awards, and there's these festivals that
yeah,
no one's ever heard of, like one feature film winner at the Telluride Indie Fest.
uh
Why did it win? I mean, it's a movie
huh.
that apparently no one likes, and look, see it's shit, and
Yeah,
yet I guess it was popular enough to win an award at a
it's like that
festival.
fucking movie The Collapsed, which I bought on DVD, and I'm gonna
The
regret
what?
that. It's called The Collapsed. It's a movie that came out a couple years ago, I think. And did you see that? I vaguely
The
remember
clasp
The Collapsed.
collapsed. At first, I thought you said the clap. I don't remember the collapse.
The Clap, the winner of multiple different awards. So this is a movie that I saw the trailer for, and I was like, oh god, this is really shitty. This looks really shitty. It was shitty acting. And I read up some scenes where this girl actually runs away to shave her legs or some shit in the middle of a fucking scene. And chased by fucking marauding fucking bad guys or something in a post-apocalyptic world. It's just like, I need to shave my legs. Ah! Yeah.
Well, it's priorities. Next one, which is a 3.4, is a Jack Scalia movie, After War.
Looks like he's trying to be James Bond here.
Directed by a guy named Robert Lee, which I think is a fake name.
No,
I
it says he's the
think.
second unit assistant director for Shoot 'em Up, Freddy vs. Jason, Pompeii, House of the Dead, Extra 2.
Huh.
Stay tuned.
Cyberjack. He directed Cyberjack. He directed a bunch of movies no one knows. Disaster Zone, Volcano, New York TV movie.
Directed Cracker Jack 2.
But yeah, this first assistant
He
director,
directed
a lot of
episodes of Next Mutation.
he was a second assistant director of Stay Tuned,
Yeah.
a first assistant director of Freddy vs. Jason, and I have never seen this movie. I mean,
I haven't either.
gives a shit. Uh,
So Jack Scalia, what does he do in Act of War?
he tries to be James Bond. Is what it's like.
Yeah. Like
I
he's
don't
a.
mind him in certain movies.
I don't either. Like
I didn't mind him in The Rift.
Endless Descent. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Endless
wasn't.
Descent.
He wasn't bad in that movie, Dark Breed, but the movie itself could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, there's another.
T-Force.
Yeah, that's it. I liked.
So Jack Scalia plays Jack Gracie, a former security guard at the American Embassy in Russia, and he has shown up uninvited to a party at the embassy of the former Soviet Republic of Barzakistan, which I don't know what the fuck that is, where his estranged girlfriend is working. And as the two are talking upstairs, a group of terrorists disguised as caterers, this sounds familiar, burst in and take all the guests downstairs hostage. And the terrorists are threatening to launch nuclear missiles at America if their demands are not met, but they haven't planned on Jack being there to spoil the party. So it's like Cracker Jack.
I don't think I've seen Cracker Jack. I've heard of it.
It's just like any other like Die Hard ripoff. It's just hey,
Just
terrorists
very
and
low budget.
fucking yeah.
Next one is The Big Night Out, film never heard of. 3.4.
Must not be that big.
A group of friends take Jake out to help him drown his sorrows after his longtime girlfriend breaks up with him and leaves him stranded on Valentine's Day. Seems
Love
like a very
hurts.
boring comedy.
Love bleeds.
You have another film directed by Tony Randall. This is the same guy, I believe, directed Hellraiser 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Hellbound Hellraiser 2 and your favorite Children of the Night.
Oh fuck. God.
And Amityville 1992.
I didn't mind that
It's
one.
and
Stephen Mocked.
Ticks, which is a good movie.
Yeah.
So I like Ticks, Hellraiser 2, but
Paul
this
Winfield's
one,
in this too.
Cliff Robertson, girl named Sammy Davis.
No, I thought it was Sammy Davis Jr. there for a second. I'm like, he's dead, isn't he? Wasn't he dead by the time this movie was made?
Tracy Garrett's a cop, and after an incident that left one person dead, she's invited by her father to spend some time with him in Berlin. While they were out having dinner, her father is shot. She is then informed by the German inspector assigned to her father's case that her father's a CIA operative. She then decides to investigate the case.
Sounds thrilling.
Yeah, it's a trauma thriller in Berlin. It spells boring.
Next one is this is
Talia
it's a
Shire.
weird casting choice. It really is. Talia Shire is the landlady.
A 1998 movie which gets a 3.4. Yeah, Talia Shire from Rocky.
In Sunshine, Nevada, the middle-aged housewife, Melanie Leroy, sees her husband, Ralston Leroy, shagging her neighbor, and she freaks out. She then poisons Ralston, who is allergic to seafood, in the diner or in the dinner or whatever. Whoever wrote this, English isn't their first language. Melanie travels to California to the
Oh yeah, he's
apartment
from
building
Brazil.
that
So,
she was inherited from her aunt, and when she meets her tenant Patrick Foreman, she believes that he would be the perfect husband for her. She uses her maiden name, Melanie Leroy, and becomes obsessed for him. She's killing anyone that might interpose between Patrick and her. So it's basically like, hey, let's take like something that Rebecca De
she wants
Mornay would
she wants
normally
a
be in.
husband. She don't kill everyone around to get the husband.
Yeah, so it's like it's another like Hand the Rocks to Cradle or something like that, but let's take out Rebecca De Mornay and let's give the role to Talia Shire. And the tagline is evil doesn't knock, it has the key. What the fuck does that mean? I mean,
I don't know what that means. I mean, Who does? Who does?
It's the fucking
If it was
landlady.
locked,
I know.
if it was locked, maybe it'd matter if you had a key. But knocking don't mean shit.
No, it doesn't.
Could be locked, not locked, fucking out the window. Yeah, it's a film called The Landlady. They didn't know Talia Shire did a movie like that. I don't care, but
I'm trying to
I
be a
didn't
horror
know.
film with the landlady. It's just fucking laughable. I mean, seriously, the landlady.
And next film I don't know anything about. Don't know much to say. Some film called The Misadventures of James Bond, which gets a 3.4.
It's like a James Bond ripoff. The James Spawn is it a frog?
It says it's a romance comedy.
Oh,
Directed by June or Joe One or June Jone.
June. Oh, he directed those Pirates of the Caribbean ripoff movies. Yeah, Pirates.
Oh, this softcore porn.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
this is his directorial debut.
Bravo, dude.
It's the same guy who directed Rocky Road's Wet Dreams. They got Rocky Road.
So the next film is a film that is a 3.5 called Talisman,
It's a full
directed
moon
by
film.
David DiCatto,
Yeah,
which this guy is linked to a lot of shitty films
really shitty movies.
like Creepazoids and fuckload others. You just look at his IMDb and just shits.
Just shits. Just his little shits on IMDb. Just shit after shit after shit after shit. That's his IMDb page.
Yeah, you're right. This is a full moon film.
I think so. That was released through Full Moon. I remember seeing a trailer.
It seems like if it's a Talisman, maybe it's about little people or dolls or some shit. Because usually that's what they are.
Because that's Richard Band's fetish, right? He's like into fucking dolls.
Charlie Band.
Charlie Band. My bad. Richard Band's the composer.
Yeah.
As the millennium draws near, an evil being awakens. Fused to an ancient talisman for centuries, Theriel, the Black Angel, is summoned from his resting place to usher in the end of the world. The ghastly messenger must claim 7 human sacrifices to complete the ritual and open the gates of hell. A teenage boy and girl have been chosen to assist the angel in its deadly mission, yet they alone are the world's only hope for salvation.
It's a film called The Talisman that gives a 3.5. I think that spells it all. By David DeCock. Cock in your mouth. The next movie, Last Leprechaun, another Leprechaun movie.
Leprechaun movie.
And
Jack
a family
Scalia
film.
again.
Josh Elliott, David Warner gives a 3.5. It's another family film, Leprechaun movie. Ethel and Tommy Barrett are sent to Ireland to spend the summer with their new stepmother. Once there, they discover her to be an evil, power-seeking witch bitch with real magical powers and a hatred for all things green. So she's racist. It's a family film.
When are they going to learn to stop making family films with leprechauns? Has there ever been a good one? No. There hasn't.
There's never been a good Leprechaun.
There's never been a good
period.
Leprechaun movie, period. So stop.
Gives a fuck about Leprechaun origins. Who gives a shit about any of that? Not many. And some film called Visions. One Vision.
One Vision.
1998 movie with Eric Estrada.
It's also known as Blind
Oh no,
Sight.
this is a different cover. The only thing has the same. Oh yeah, Eric Estrada is in this.
Yeah.
He's just down on the list of IMDb. I guess maybe he's the star.
Yeah. Robert Vaughn.
Eric Estrada in a film that doesn't even have a synopsis. 3.5.
Now the next one, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, just a 3.5 is called Sweepers with Dolph Lundgren. Bruce Payne is, of course, the bad guy he usually is. I like this movie,
Yeah, I liked
Sweepers.
it
I don't
too.
I don't find it that bad. I don't know why. Uh,
I know people use stock footage from that film for other movies.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty decent time waster. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a classic. I'm not
It's
going
not
to
my
say it's
favorite Dolph Lundgren movie or anything like that, but
top 10 Dolph Lundgren. No, but 3.5 bad. Not
I've
even
seen worse
close.
action movies. I've seen worse Dolph Lundgren movies.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty decent practical stuff, some fun little action sequences, and
Like fucking Cover Up, which gets a 4.2. And that's a much
yeah.
worse. That's a 10 times worse Dolph Lundgren movie than Sweepers.
And I like the idea. He's a guy who cleans up landmines,
Yeah.
and I remember around near the beginning of the film, there's an attack. He has a son who, I believe, he steps on a landmine during this attack. He's running, steps on a landmine, and pretty much. I'm not going to go. Torn from today's headlines, Sweepers is an action-packed thriller set in war-ravaged Angola. Dolph Lundgren is a leader in the humanitarian. Wait, let me make sure that's the same character. Yeah, his name is Christian Eriksen. Humanitarian Order of Chivalry on assignment in Angola with his team of sweepers who are attempting to clear landmines from one rural village to another during a time where villagers and children are being maimed and killed daily. During one sweeping operation, his 11-year-old son Johnny follows his father to a minefield and during a rebel attack is killed when he steps on a landmine. Back in America, a terrorist attack at the home of a U.S. senator utilizes a new super advanced A6 landmine smuggled in from Angola. A female bomb squad expert who watched her fiance die in the attack is sent on an operation to Angola to recover that specific mine, so that the political intrigue behind its manufacture can be revealed. She joins forces with two army minesweepers, but their mission turns deadly when it doesn't have the full synopsis here. Pretty much, bad shit happens. They stole this landmine. She ultimately gets the help of Dolph Lundgren, and Bruce Payne's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Not that bad of a movie.
No.
3.5, way too low. Classic, no. Top 10, no. But there's this film with Dolph Lundgren and Cuba Gooding Jr., 5.2. Honestly, that should be a 3.5 because that was a boring fucking movie.
A
One in
bullet
the
in
chamber.
the one in the chamber. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
that's a
Cover
boring.
Up. Cover Up gets a 4.2. That's way too fucking high. I mean, that's the movie that's the first Dolph Lundgren movie I ever saw after Rocky 4, and it was so bad that I didn't watch any Dolph Lundgren movies for years until I was like, man, he sucks. He can't. It's not fucking Cover Up, man. That's good shit.
Yeah, he did another movie called Stash House, which that was a pretty boring film. That just like a 4.8. Like this classic, no, but it doesn't deserve
No,
that low of a rating. I've
definitely
seen
not.
much, much worse.
Same here.
Mm, So I disagree with that
I
one.
disagree with that as well. Next one, the Versace Murder, a docudrama TV movie directed by Menahem Golan
Wow, of Golan and Globus.
about Gianni Versace's murder by alleged serial killer Andrew Cunanan.
With Franco Nero and Stephen Bauer. 3.5. Never seen the movie?
Doesn't interest me.
No, not really.
We have a Mario Van Peebles film called Love Kills.
Which gets a 3.5 with Leslie Ann Warren.
Mario Van Peebles with his fucking dreads. It's like he's the character from Jaws 4 again.
And he also directed the film and wrote the film Mario Van Peebles. Has Daniel Baldwin in it as well.
The not as cool Baldwin brother.
His his character's name is Paul Finkelstein. Poe Paul Finkelstein.
He wrote that screenplay himself too, and he gave himself that name.
And some of the people in this, you have Louise Fletcher,
Yeah.
Alexis Arquette, Lucy Liu, and Melvin Van Peebles, his dad. I mean, a masseuse gets mixed up in the family plots at the
They got
mansion of
Donovan
a
Leitich.
junior.
No, it's actually the same guy. He just changes. It's the same guy
Oh,
from the Blob.
from okay,
Paul Taylor. Donovan
huh,
Leitich. Or Leach.
cool.
But this he
Movie's probably
plays
not cool,
he
but
plays somebody named Dominique. So does he play fuck somebody in drag or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, Marv Van Peebles named his own character Poe Finkelstein, Finkelstein or whatever.
No, it's Finkelstein.
Frankenstein,
Finkelstein, not Finkelstein.
Frankenstein.
Finkelstein.
Well,
Uh,
that says it all.
there's a film called Shrieker. I guess the 3.5. It's a full moon film. I remember. I wouldn't say it's that. I mean, it was like it's 72 minutes long. I don't remember it being like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. But I don't remember it being great either. But I remember kind of like the creature design. You know, it was like it's this
Hmm.
creature that has multiple heads, and I don't know. Another one directed by David DeCocteau, who decided to call himself a chick for some reason.
Oh, as a pseudonym.
Yeah, his pseudonym was Victoria Sloan for this one.
And actually, this has really enough the Asian guy who was in all the Hatchet films, Perry
Huh.
Shin.
Interesting.
That, I just before he did Hatchet films, or he did those.
Yeah.
He was in all three. He did
The
this.
basic story is Clark, a young mathematics major at a university, thinks she's found the best deal for student housing, a group of squatters who live in an abandoned hospital secretly. The quirky residents let her into the community, provided she will follow the rules, including not telling anyone about her living arrangements. All seems wonderful until she discovers that the reason that her hospital was abandoned was a series of murders in the 1940s by a strange shrieking killer who was never captured, and the discovery that someone who's living in the hospital is using the occult means to bring back the Shrieker, a demonic force summoned and controlled by a human who knows the proper procedure. When strange occult circles are discovered, Clark finds herself the main suspect because she is the newest resident. The tagline is, if you hear it, it's too late.
I haven't seen it. Just how there was talks of a sequel at one point, but it was canceled.
I don't know, I've seen worse full moon films. I'm not saying it's great, but
Do you think it deserves a 3.5 that low?
I haven't seen the film in the longest time, so I'd have to watch it again, so
Mm.
maybe. So Full Moon makes a decent amount of shitty movies, but unlike Troma, they actually have made some good films. So
Yeah,
that
some Puppet Master movies, and
Doll Man, and
I like Ghoulies too.
I didn't mind Castle Freak. The ending's kind of but I didn't
Yeah,
mind the film.
I haven't
Then
seen that.
then you have I didn't mind Crash and Burn either.
Oh, okay. The next one that seems are some called Preacher Player, which know nothing about
Preaching to the
3.5.
Sisters, starring Popra.
A womanizing comment poses as a minister in a southern town. Some film gives a shit.
Blaxploitation porno, pretty much.
Then you have a film which gets a
I've
3.6
heard
called
of,
RPM.
but I always thought like, why is David Arquette in this movie? That's what I always. I think of all people to cast in your
And
professional car thief movie.
Famke Johnson.
Wow.
A same year, isn't this same year as Deep
I think
Rising?
so.
A professional car thief pulls off the heist of a lifetime when he steals a prototype supercar. Tagline: They're addicted to stealing fast cars. It's not even a tagline. It's like
Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
Just
Wait,
allergic to this shit.
let me see. Who wrote the
Roger
script?
Avery wrote the script and planned to direct the movie right after killing Zoe, with a cast comprising of John Hughes Angalad,
Chow
Chow
Yun Fat.
Yun-fat, Dolph Lundgren, Matt Dillon, Nastasha Kinski, Vanessa Paradis, Cherry
Cheticario.
I've heard of him before.
He's been a bad guy in a few films like Kiss of the
Oh,
Dragon.
okay. Terrence Stamp, Daniel O'Toole, Eric Stoltz, and Tom Savini, but the project was dropped for budgetary reasons. After Roger Avery backed out of the project, his script was rewritten many times. The final screenplay was so dramatically different from the original material that Avery opted to remove his name from the film.
And for those other, Cheticario was also the bad guy in Bad Boys.
Ah.
But I wouldn't mind that Roger Avery. I mean, Dolph Lundgren, Chow Yun-fat,
Yeah.
Matt Dillon, Terrence Stamp, Tom Savini. Be interested to see what that movie would be like. But nah, you went from all that to David Arquette.
Around the time when he won the WCW belt, right? Or was that later? It was later.
I think that was a little bit later. That was during round Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
It's stupid of all people. It's get fucking.
And I don't mind David Arquette.
I don't mind him, but it's just miscasting for this type of film.
And then the film directed by has two directors on
John Terlesky, who is the actor from
Dungeon
Master,
Deathstalker.
Like Dungeon Master 2, no, Deathstalker 2, yeah. Deathstalker 2.
Which wasn't that directed by Jim Wynorski?
I think so, yeah.
Starring Daniel Baldwin, Erica Leniak, and Richard Tyson, The Pandora Project.
And not as cool.
It was just a 3.6.
Tony Todd is also in it along with Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Really? Bo Jackson?
Wow.
Bo knows Bo? Really?
Obviously, Bo doesn't know a good movie when he sees it.
Jeff Yeager? Is that...
Who?
Jeff Yeager, huh?
Well, I mean, that's the cast. Daniel Baldwin, Bo Jackson, Tony Todd, Eric Leniak. And a CIA agent has to stop a former
CIA, NRA.
who has stolen a weapon which kills people without harming buildings, all before he is to get married in a few days.
Wow.
To kill people without harming buildings, what's the point of that? I mean, I guess that's a sneaky way of doing it, I guess. Definitely sci-fi. Low budget. It's Jim Wynorski. His track record is not good.
Speaking of shit, there's his next movie called Jungle Boy that gets a 3.6. I'm surprised they didn't call it Tarzan Boy, you know. Yeah, stars nobody I know. Ross Hagen plays the voice of a fucking tiger or some shit.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. So
That's pretty fucking shitty. Skip.
A 1998 movie, The Lost World, with Patrick Bergen.
Based on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Lost World, not Michael Crichton.
Well, yeah.
Bob Keane, the makeup effects artist, really?
Oh, is that what it is? Bob Keane, the director?
Sucks. Worked on Hellraiser and things like that. Life Force.
So that was a movie directed. Wow.
Worked on Dog Soldiers.
Huh. He had directed a movie and it was The Lost World. The film gets a 3.6. He
directed Proteus too, and that wasn't very good.
Yeah, I didn't care for that film.
He directed that To Catch a Yeti.
What?
He directed that To Catch a Yeti movie that the cinema snobs that are reviewing.
Oh. Wow.
That fucking piece of shit. To Catch a Yeti. With Meatloaf.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's, yeah, not good makeup guy, not a good director.
No.
Next film is a film called Sleeping Dogs, which gets a 3.6, which features C. Thomas Howell, a guy named Scott McNeil.
Deals with, yeah, go ahead.
A master jewel thief in 21st century LA targets the illegal emerald smuggling operations of a highly connected crime syndicate. During what he believes to be a routine heist, Cap burglar Harry Maxwell discovers that his target, notorious criminal Sanchez Boone, is also the target of a police raid. And attempting to evade both the law and Boone's well-armed men, Harry meets Pandora Grimes, one of dozens of young women Boone kidnapped to work in his factory. When Boone sets a group of social deviants free and hijacks a space transport ship and its crew, only Harry and Pandora's cunning can save the hundreds of innocent people aboard.
I have this film on my hard drive, regrettably. So
What
yeah,
for?
I don't know why. It was just there to download, and I downloaded it. I have no defense for it. Sanchez Boone. It's played by C. Thomas Howell.
Now, the next film is a big budget movie that flopped
Yeah,
badly.
this movie's terrible.
The
This is
1998 The
The
Avengers
Avengers.
gets a 3.7.
Directed by the guy who directed National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Sean Connery in a Care Bear suit.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fucking
That's very much what it is.
Robot bees. That's done better in Richie Rich.
Oh, yeah. The film's box office failing critical mauling, along with the equally unsuccessful and equally maligned The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, was partly responsible for Sean Connery's decision to retire from the film
For
business.
Sean Connery, this is one of his worst performances, personally, for me. And OXG, at least he was trying. Here it's just stupid. He's in a fucking teddy bear outfit. He might as well be Cobra Commander with his shitty fucking weather dominator fucking weather machine plan.
At one point, David Fincher was interested in writing and directing the film with Charles Dance in the lead as John Steed.
I could kind of see that because Charles Dance kind of played that kind of an evil version of that role in Last Action Hero.
Nicole Kidman was unable to take the role of Emma Peel due to already being contracted to make Eyes Wide Shut.
Peter
Mel
Bart's...
Gibson-
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. No, it says Mel Gibson was considered for the role
Huh.
of John Steed, and Gwyneth Paltrow was considered for the role of Emma Peel.
Peter Bart's book, The Gross, covered the film's unfolding disaster in great detail. Among other facts, Warner Brothers greenlit the film largely on the strength of a star-packed cast and their appreciation of Jeremiah Chechik's work on Diabolique. Yeah, he actually did a pretty decent job of that film, directing-wise. And we're horrified when seeing what the first cut was like. The first screening took place in front of a largely Spanish-speaking working-class audience in Phoenix, Arizona, who hated the film. And then the studio then forced Chechik to cut many of his favorite scenes and conduct reshoots, and the final cut went from 115 to 89 minutes. It was completely incoherent. The studio even refused to hold further test screenings or to have an official premiere before the film's August 1998 release.
The reason we're silent is because that says it all. I mean,
Exactly.
it was based on a TV show that was mainly in overseas.
Yeah, it was a cult. It was a cult hit in the U.S., but it was never really huge over here. It was pretty big in the UK.
Yeah, but I mean, not a lot of people still knew about it here, and then you made a shitty movie. Doesn't help matters.
No, I think it could have worked, but they just didn't do a good job with it. Could have made it kind of a fun sort of James Bond type adventure, but they just fucked it up.
That was silliness.
Yeah.
And yeah, what more
Fucking
can I say
teddy
about it?
bears. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, Sean Connery wears a Care Bear suit. That's what it looks like.
Or one of those beanie babies. Fucking teddy bear beanie babies. All right, Matt, let's talk about sex.
Yeah, 1998 film, which gets a 3.7. An aspiring African American talk show host sets out with two girlfriends to videotape interviews with multicultural women about life. I don't know what more I can say about it than that title, and let's not talk about it.
Sex. Mel.
By Joey Travolta, who directed it.
The
with
not the
Ernest
not the not as cool Travolta.
with Ernest Borgnine, Julie Haggerty, and Greg Evigan.
Wow. Greg Effigan from BJ and the Bear and
I remember him from Deep Star
Deep Star
6.
6. Mom and Dad send their two angsty sons to their granddad in the countryside. There, one of them discovers Mel, an incredibly large turtle. In the meantime, the grandfather is having trouble with the land developers who want his property. Yay.
It's a lost turtle named Mikey. And Jack Scallions.
Oh my God, Jack Skelly is overtaking. Did he? I think he tied Hulk Hogan. Did he? Didn't he? Or did he
He's
overtake Hulk?
there
He's
somewhere. Yeah.
there somewhere.
So
Next one is it is a pretty lame Michael Dudikoff flick called Freedom Strike.
yeah, Freedom Strike, Michael Dudikoff, Tone Loc. Just a 3.7. I saw this and it was a time waster, but I couldn't. I just say I like Sweepers more than this. It
Yeah,
was just didn't hate it. I've seen a lot worse. Tone Loc's not in it a whole lot,
which is good.
but yeah, I can understand why it gives it 3.7. But I didn't hate it. I've
I
seen
didn't hate
worse.
it, but I thought it was pretty shitty still. So, you know.
Director Alan A. Goldstein left the project and was replaced by Jerry Jacobs. Goldstein's credits for directing, writing, and co-producing the movie remained on the official cover and poster artwork.
Jacob sounds like a guy who directs fucking porno movies. Well, I'm close. He was the assistant. Looks like he helped work on those fucking Vampire Sucks movies. He co-produced Vampire Suck and Disaster Movie.
Oh, Jesus. I'd rather watch this movie than those movies, so I'll be
He
honest.
directed Running Red.
With Jeff Speedman.
That just stole footage from
Red Heath,
Red
yeah,
Heath.
the bus sequence.
He did a decent job with that movie, A Dangerous Place, with Ted Jan Roberts. I could watch that movie.
Haven't seen that one. Oh, yeah. Not sure that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the one where he's like Ted Jan Roberts is his older brother is found dead.
Oh, yeah,
Police
that
with his
one.
kid.
Okay, yeah, with Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I thought it was alright, yeah.
yeah, it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was decent.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's
Directed
right.
episodes of Power Rangers. And he started out his career directing episodes of Real Stories of Highway Patrol.
It starts somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Freedom Strike is just a direct-to-video Michael Dudikoff film. It's better than Seagal's movies.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's a really shitty Seagal movie that gets a higher rating that I definitely disagree with. That's up here later. There's a film called Woo!
With Jada Pinkett Smith and Tommy Davidson, which gets a 3.7.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Maybe you should talk to
Will Smith.
Yeah, mention Jada Pinkett about this movie. Dave Chappelle is in this. LL Cool J.
Jesus.
Dave Chappelle.
A gorgeous and extrovert Wu meets insecure and straight-laced law clerk Tim on a blind date. Just never even heard of this movie, but
I
it has a
haven't
lot
either.
of familiar people.
Yep. Then we have a movie called Fag Hag. It's a real title. And Matt, guess who released this movie to the public?
Troma?
Yeah! You're right.
Big surprise.
Where it deals with a pathological liar and HIV positive rapper who joins forces. They join forces to take a small gay community by storm, featuring a cameo by Will Wheaton.
Well, he's used to being in crap, so.
Glad that show is canceled too. Show sucked.
Which show?
The Will Wheaton project. That Will
Yeah.
Wheaton show did on Sci-Fi.
Good.
Trying to
Well,
take
he was in movies
advantage.
called Fag Hag.
Trying to take advantage of
Just
my
a
boy over
3.7.
here. You were in Fag Hag. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate retort to any Will Wheaton trying to give you any kind of shit. Shut the fuck up, Will Wheaton. You were in Fag Hag.
And no, he never gave me crap, but he just on his show he showed like clips of my video among others
Yeah.
without permission or asking or
No.
anything. Hey,
But still, Will Wheaton, you were in
apparently
Fag
that's
Hag.
okay. Yeah, you're a fag hag.
Next one, well, there's a movie called Illicit Dreams too. Who the fuck cares? Tale of the Mummy, on the other hand, yeah,
Russell
that's a
Mulcahy,
really shitty mummy movie.
another mummy movie this year,
It sucked.
also known as Talos the Mummy
Did they
with
think
Jason
that the
Scott
Mummy
Lee.
movie was gonna come out in '98 instead of '99 or some shit? I mean,
Guess they wanted to beat it to the punch,
a
or
year early.
that's true. It's two mummy movies, low budget horror movies. This is by the guy who did Highlander, Russell Mulcahy,
One of
with
his
Jason
worst
Scott Lee.
films.
Huh?
One of his worst films, Russell Mulcahy.
Yeah, I remember having a downbeat ending
Yeah.
and being pretty lame, cheap flick. I mean, I think Christopher Lee was
That's
in it
my
as
thoughts
well.
on that. Just
Yeah.
Shelley Duvall, Lisette Anthony, Michael Lerner. Yeah, Christopher Lee, Gerard Butler.
Wow. This is definitely early in his career, 98.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. Asked him about Talos the Mummy by Russell Mulcahy.
Tale of the Mummy, yeah.
Well, it is around the time he did, what was that Dracula movie he starred in? Dracula
Dracula
2000.
2000. The curse is legend. The terror is real. Centuries ago, under the sands of ancient Egypt, a prince is buried in his tomb eternally cursed, so that no man would ever again suffer from his evil ways. But hundreds of years later, on a greedy search for treasure, a group of archaeologists break the curse's seal of the tomb, and every man vanishes without a trace, leaving only a log book and a deadly warning of the legend of the bloodthirsty Talos. 50 years after the logbook ends up in the hands of the granddaughter of the head archaeologist, she defiantly sets out to retrace his steps. Discovering the forbidden treasure, she recovers a sacred amulet and once again unleashes the savage power of the tomb. Like a dumb bitch, thanks a lot. Racing through the streets of London against the force of a rare interplanetary lineup. Interplanetary. What? She,
You
along
got
with the
me.
help of her original dig team and an American detective, desperately try to turn back the inhuman curse and keep Talos from destroying all in his path in an attempt to gain immortal power. Highlander 2 is better than this shit, okay? Both versions. And that's
That's why the
saying
poster
something.
has planets on it, as well as the mummy. Should have been an alien mummy.
Like Time Walker, that movie I
Sure.
think from back in the day.
Sure. Probably better than this. And we'll probably go at least to the 4.0 is 82, so that's not too long of a video.
Yeah.
So the next one, well, that got 3.7. This gets a 3.8. Deadly Ransom with Lauren Avedon from Return, No Retreat, No Surrender 2
Hmm.
and King of the Kickboxers.
I don't mind Lauren Avedon.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I mean, this doesn't look like much.
No.
A wealthy banker and his daughter are kidnapped by a team of thugs, and the boyfriend was in a special unit in the U.S. Navy.
Brian James is also in it. And
Haven't seen the
he has
film.
psychic powers. That's what it says. He has
Wow, I
psychic
didn't read that
powers.
part.
It says a wealthy baker's daughter kidnapped by a gang of thugs. The girl's boyfriend, who serves as special units of the U.S. Navy, is in possession of particular psychic powers. It will be thanks to these powers he will discover the place where the two abducted were locked.
So you don't have to write in how he figures. Just give him psychic powers. Deadly Ransom. Okay, I'll just watch Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Here's another one with Steve Guttenberg I haven't seen, but I have it. It's called Overdrive, where he plays a race car driver. Gary Stricker, who finds a woman who gives him a new reason to live, but she also might get him killed because there's a little bit of action that goes on in it. But I haven't seen it yet. It's got Robert Wagner in it as well, and Alex Hyde White, Mr.
Never even,
Fantastic
never
from
even heard of this film. Gets a 3.8. Yeah, first time I even heard. So that's in 1 year he was in 2 action movies. Wow.
Of course, I'd rather
Oh.
see Overdrive than this fucking piece of shit Dolph Lundgren movie
Yeah, which also gets a 3.8. I've seen this. It's really horrible. Called The Minion.
with the really cheap ass fucking cover. Fucking, they took the skeleton out of the
It's
biology
sort of.
lab. It just took a picture of it and said, "Ooh, cool, spooky skeletons."
It's kind of like his really bad version of The Hidden
Yeah,
because
or like, and like also his bad version of End of Days because it also deals with that sort of thing as well.
the dawn
Yeah,
of the millennium. Because you have this woman archaeologist that finds this thing, discovers, what was it? New York, Christmas Eve, 1999. At the dawn of the new millennium, a subway construction crew unearths an 800-year-old Celtic skeleton and a mysterious key. Archaeologist Karen is called in to determine the meaning of the discovery. News of the discovery reaches a Middle East monastery where the warrior monks known as the Knights Templar, which I would like the idea, Dolph Lundgren, okay, Knights Templar, but they fucked it up.
mm-hmm.
An ancient set entrusted for protecting holy relics. Choose their best pupil, Lucas, played by Dolph Lundgren, to face the diabolical threat. As Lucas races to New York, an evil minion seizes Karen and uses its body like a parasite and host. Lucas arrives just in time to rescue Karen and dispatch the minion. The minion takes hold of another host, revealing that it is immortal. As it cuts a path of destruction through the city, decimating a parking garage and leaving a trail of death, Karen realizes that the minion can't be killed, but only delayed from finding a new host. I mean, even that premise
Sounds,
sounds
yeah, it
good,
does.
but it's cheap
Yeah, like
for
the
one
fucking
instance.
cover. It's not lying.
I mean, even it's just it's a cheap movie, and that's his big problem. Is that it's a poorly directed
Also,
flick.
it's pretty boring too. That's another problem it has.
Yeah, from a director who this is his first film and he didn't do much after.
We can see why.
Exactly. I mean, I think if Dolph had directed himself or get some other guy, get the guy who directed The Hidden
Yeah,
director. I don't
Shaq
know.
Shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like a fun movie for Dolph. It's no
it's a
Icon
missed
in Peace.
opportunity.
It's no Icon in Peace, and that's the
I've
bad
never
thing.
ever seen a sequel to I Come in Peace of that plot, really.
Or have the director of Icon in Peace directed.
Yeah,
But that's the Minion. Piss poor movie that could have been a lot better. A
yeah.
lot better. Film called Halfway Home. Know nothing about it. 3.8.
Champions is it's got Louis Mandylor, Danny Trejo, Ken Shamrock. I can watch the film. It's like a time waster for me. It's like got Ken Shamrock in it, and it's like Terminal Combat, which is pretty much a lot like UFC. There's some decent fights.
Hmm.
Wasn't the best thing ever, but it's got to turn
Never
your
heard
brain
of it.
off type
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Time killer.
And this is a film that you actually uh, home team with Steve Gutenberg. 3.8. Kind of like
I have that
The
one, and I
Big
also
Green.
have Champions and Home Team. I I got it because I think I remember seeing that on TV one time, but I haven't seen it in the longest time. It is basically the Big Green. That's basically what the fuck. It's just the Big Green, but this time with Steve Gutenberg coaching because he didn't coach the last time. That's pretty much what it is. So it's probably pretty lame, but
Well, I have fun watching it. Um, some film called Natalie's Rose, which seems like a family film about a horse, of course. Gets a 3.8. Film called I Got the Hookup
with
with
Master
Master P.
P, the guy whose one of his hit songs was just "Let me hear you say
Mm,
uh,
mm.
na 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 na."
Two small-time scam artists, Black and Blue, sell boom boxes and broken TVs from their van at the parking lot. When by mistake a shipment of cellular phones gets to them, it doesn't take long before FBI and gangsters are after them. Get the FBI aboard?
Yeah.
If they're looking at a shipment of phones, oh shit, not drugs, guns, or murders.
Phones.
Phones. You just watch More Money with Damon
You'd have more
Wayans.
fun. Tommy Davidson.
But I got 3.8. This I haven't seen, but it actually has Paul
I know,
Walker.
Meet the Deedles. I forgot he was in this. I remember
Yeah,
the trailer for this. It was a Disney, one of those Disney movies they did that were trying
Disney
to,
comedies.
Disney comedies in the 90s. It's just awful.
Two surfers end up as Yellowstone Park Rangers and have to stop a former ranger who's out for
John
revenge.
Ashton is also in this, as well as Dennis Hopper, Eric Braeden, who was in the ambulance, Robert Englund, MC
Robert
Gainey, Megan Kavanaugh, Anna Gasteyer. So yeah, Robert Englund is Nemo.
This might be one of those movies I might see just to see how bad it is one day.
It's like most unlikely comic duo since Bill and Ted. Tagline
Well,
is to protect and surf.
I can
Old Faithful
guarantee
blows.
Bill and Ted is better.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
3.8. But I would give it a look one day just for curiosity, just to see how bad and for Paul
It's
Walker.
pretty
But I
fucking
could tell it's
bad.
bad. You could tell it's bad. Just
Oh,
like the next movie is a horrible movie.
oh my
An
god, the fucking Arrival too. Ugh,
unneeded sequel that kills off Charlie Sheen's character
off screen.
off screen. Stars a shitty actor, Patrick
He
Muldoon,
does. He sucks ass.
as Charlie
Terrible.
Sheen's brother that was never mentioned in the first movie, who's a computer hacker, learns the plot of the aliens, and directed by Kevin S. Tenney, the same guy who gave us the original Night of the Demons and what was that, Witchboard, which saw it. But I like Night of the Demons. Good at this piece of shit movie. Fuck Arrival 2. I think I ranted on it. If I did, it's 3.8 is too high.
Yeah,
The next,
definitely.
mo- next movie is by a worthless worf eater, purple people eater, who got pissed because I thought this movie sucked. And they do.
I remember that. Yeah,
Worthless Keeter, Purple People Eater made some of the worst Jeff Speedman films.
they are. They're fucking
The,
terrible.
the worst one is Memorial Day. This has one or two decent Jeff Speedman fights, but that's it. And it's a really cheaply made movie. Robert Carradine's in it as a good guy that does nothing. Robin Curtis is in it in a useless role. She was much better in those Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of
Oh,
the
that's Savick, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
uh, one of those Jeff Speedman films that
Sadly, he's done a decent amount, like crappy films. It's really too
yeah,
bad.
and the films are good. They don't get talked about.
No, and they don't
Like
even.
Street
Most of them don't
Night.
even have DVDs.
Yeah, I still don't understand
Where's
it.
Perfect Weapon? Okay, thank you, finally. But what about
Yeah,
Street Night?
finally, but Daily Outbreak.
Daily Outbreak, definitely. I mean, come on, a movie with that fucking line of dialogue and the one of the most badass quips
Forgot your
ever.
bulletproof
I mean,
cup,
come on, that's one of the most badass one-liners ever. I mean,
and that gets a 4.
it's way too fucking
Daily.
low.
See, that's the. I mean, IMDb. There's a lot I can agree with, but there's a lot I can disagree with, and it's not. It didn't come out this year. It came out in '95, but Daily Outbreak 4.0 is a
Hell
big heap
no.
of horse shit. That I will never understand that ever.
Well, it's like it doesn't, there's nothing that's 100% original, and it's a fun action movie. There's a lot of good action in it. There's that fucking badass scene. Forgot to wear your
So what? I
bulletproof
bet
cup.
Chappie has some ripoffs of Short Circuit and RoboCop, but it got a. I guarantee it's going to be a DVD Blu-ray.
Yep.
But Daily Outbreak can't. And gets a 4.0 while Chappie gets
I
like a
would I would kill for a
7.
double feature with Deadly Outbreak and Street Night. I'd go for that.
I agree with that. Shows how much worthless
We'd rather
Scorpio 1
talk
is.
we'd rather talk about better just
That
speaking movies.
a Daily Outbreak.
The Scorpio one.
Next film is a film some film called Fate Accompli, with Michael Madsen, Rosanna Arquette, Balthazar Getty gets a 3.8. Never even heard of it.
Looks like it deserves a 3.8.
A film called Black Thunder.
I have this on DVD. I haven't seen it yet, but would be surprised if it sucked.
A Casper Van Dien joint, which is just a 3.9, where he plays Tarzan in
Yeah,
Tarzan
that fucking
Lost
movie.
City.
That's a movie I never finished. I
Oh, you attempted to watch it.
I tried to watch it one night and I just shut it off halfway through because I was just bored.
Yeah.
And Rick Jacobson is the same guy who directed for the Black Thunder movie. He's the same guy who directed The Unborn too, that piece of shit.
Oh, Black Thunder. Well,
Fucking guy.
he doesn't know how to direct it. He is.
Tarzan
And
and Lost City is just a shitty Tarzan movie. It's like, hey, let's get a
are th-
live action Tarzan
are there
movie.
good Tarzan movies?
I can't really. Well, the Disney one I didn't mind,
Right.
but most of the time Tarzan movies suck. And Casper Van Dien can't act, so let's get that guy to be.
I don't remember the Christopher Lambert one.
That was boring. It was well acted, but it was just boring.
Mm.
Really boring.
And we really know Christopher Lambert. This guy directed a Christopher Lambert movie,
Yeah,
Night,
Night Moves. I thought it was
which I
better
haven't
than
seen.
this.
Haven't seen that one. But Tarzan Lost City, Casper Van Dien is a shitty actor.
Him playing Tarzan, and he even does a shitty job at that. And it's not the easiest role. It's not the hardest role to do. You're fucking Tarzan. Come on, shouldn't be that hard. But it wasn't believable to me at all.
Then another movie called Surface to Air, 3.9. Another Michael Madsen movie.
A lot of
That's
shitty
another
movies.
actor.
Chad McQueen.
Melanie Shatner is related to William Shatner.
I think she might be actually.
I was just kidding, but she was in Star Trek 5, so yeah, she might
Yeah.
be. Wow. I was just kidding, but lo and behold. Oh, it's a Michael Madsen cheap direct-to-video action movie that probably steals footage from Top Gun.
Or Iron
Like a
Eagle.
lot of them
Iron
do.
Eagle, probably.
Iron Eagle or
It's
Top
roughly
Gun.
Iron Eagle. It's a movie called Heist I don't give a fuck about. Butter, which I've seen the trailer for. I remember I'm more familiar with it as Never Too Big. I never saw the film, but I know that Tony Todd and Ernie Hudson are in it.
And
And
just
Shamar
3.9.
Moore, Tiny Lister.
Huh. Just a 3.9.
This is where
Probably a few people in the cast, like you said, Neil Long, Ernie Hudson, Donnie Wahlberg, Tony Todd, Terrence
Johnny
Howard,
Wahlberg.
Donald Faison,
Yeah,
Tiny Lister Jr.
yeah. Ernie Hudson plays Curtis 8-Ball Harris, who's like this corrupt record company executive guy. Remember the trailer showing Ernie Hudson was pretty decent performance-wise, but didn't look like much.
Mm.
Closer Than the Boy Next Door, Broken Love, Phony Families, Distorted Dreams. For the 20-something friends of Closer Than the Boy Next Door, the 90s are anything but slack. Okay? A hip and honest slice of life, Closer Than the Boy Next Door explores today's big issues. You know, sex, careers, the X-Files. Justin is lost and lonely. The fuck does the X-Files have to do with this
I
shit?
don't know.
Justin is lost and lonely. During the day, he holds boxes at a warehouse to pay the rent. At night, he scribbles in his notebook and wonders whether his creative writing degree will ever lead to something more. Justin's sister Janine is an aspiring chef whose own self-esteem issues account for her undying commitment to a creepy boyfriend and her inability to take that next career step. Along with their two best friends, Alex, a suave, sexually exuberant DJ, and Max, a spunky, sarcastic journalist in training, Justin and Janine search for meaning and satisfaction in their unstable lives. Soon their frustration draws these siblings together, closer than ever, and they eventually find some answers in very strange and very shocking places.
More power to them.
Somebody decided to make a movie about somebody's boring life. Yay.
Good story, bro. To the director, good story, bro.
Good story, Bo.
Good story. Tell it again. The next movie, I've seen the trailer. This it looked
It
really
looked really
cheap.
terrible.
And usually I like this guy's movies, like Richard Pepin,
Yeah.
like PM Entertainment, but this was very dirt cheap. Called The Sender, which is a 3.9. Michael Madsen, Arlie Ermy, Robert Vaughn.
Robert Vaughn's been in a lot of these shitty movies. Noticing.
Yeah. And again, PM Entertainment made a lot of good movies, but this is not doesn't look like one of them.
No. Some
And
movie
that's
called The
it.
Treat,
The Treat, yeah.
which stars Julie Delpy, who was in American Werewolf in Paris, Patrick Dempsey, Daniel Baldwin, Larry Drake, Pamela Gidley, who was in Aberration, I believe. And it deals with the lives of four strange prostitutes, and their lives have changed forever when they go to the mayor's birthday party.
So this
Ooh.
is a comedy romance, but the cover makes it, I don't know, seem like a thriller or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. And that's the last film that gets a 3.9. Pretty much after this, it's fours and stuff. But I sort of wanted to end
There's
it there
there's
so I would
but there's like
not.
there's a
Yeah, go
couple I
ahead.
wouldn't mind talking about. For one, Land
Sure,
of the
sure.
Free,
Okay,
that's not a 4.0.
yeah.
That's a lot better
For,
than that. It's a never speaking film that gets crap.
yeah, I could give some thoughts on that. The 4.0, Land of the Free, Jeff Speedman, William Shatner. Believe it's his only. Is it? I think
His only PM Entertainment film, I think. Yeah.
it's one of his only PM Entertainment films, and that's a fun movie. It has some really
Yeah.
good, well done action sequences, some pretty good little fight
William
sequences,
Shatner wasn't a
choreography.
bad villain either. I thought was pretty
He
decent.
did fine, and Land of the Free is a fun direct-to-video action movie
Yeah.
that's entertaining.
It's more ambitious and has more action than some big budget action movies lately. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, I'm sorry, Jess Beeman's a badass, and he kicks a lot of
yeah,
ass, and done on a good low budget.
exactly. I
You
mean,
have shootouts,
it
fight scenes,
doesn't
you have
deserve.
car
Yeah,
chases.
it doesn't deserve a lower rating than this one last movie I want to rant on, The
You have,
Patriot, which gets a 4.1, which is way too fucking high. This should be in the 2 point something
yeah, The
ratings or
Patriot.
1
Okay,
point something.
that's a Steven Seagal flick.
But
That's barely an action film.
decided to hire him as a scientist. Hey, be a serious role, Steven. You're a scientist. You're trying to race against time to find a cure for a lethal virus. And Steven Seagal plays a respected doctor. Give me a
It's
fucking
this
break.
action film with no action in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fact that that gets a higher rating than Deadly Outbreak, even if it's by a point 0.1, is still
It
too
doesn't
high. It
matter. It's
shouldn't
too
be in the
high.
same vein.
No.
It's a Steven Seagal action film with no action, and I'm sorry you don't go to see his films. Like Jeff Speedman is a better actor than Seagal. I
Yeah.
mean, I liked early Seagal. This is when he was in the shitter. He
Should
might
have
as well have
stayed
been in the
there.
shitter instead of making the movie.
Exactly.
I think this was the first one that went direct to
Yeah.
video, and it makes sense because nothing happens. He's trying to create a cure for a virus. It's trying to be like Outbreak, but it's no outbreak,
No.
and it's a very boring, uninteresting, definitely
Because
unexciting
Seagal,
film.
he's already in deep fucking shit, and
And
now he's still in deep fucking shit. He's starring in these fucking shitty movies at the Patriot.
and let's face it, he's always going to be in deep fucking shit. Just he continues to do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's so
That's
that don't run.
1998. That was. We'll probably stop here because there's just so many other
There's
movies or whatever.
hundreds of them,
And
but
I mean, once you get past 4.0, I mean, then you get to just mediocre rated movies, and
well, I'm sure you did really shitty movies
these
anyway.
are really
Just
shitty movies too. But it's just There's just so much.
But anyway, I want to thank Mike for joining
Thank
me.
you. Thank you for inviting me. This is fun. I hope people enjoyed it. I hope I didn't crash the party or, you
No, not
know,
at all. But thank you all for
ruin the
listening to
show.
this.
Yes,
Uh,
thank you.
Take care. Um, and this is the end of a part. We will see you guys down the road.
See you down the road. See ya.
Later.